right. Welcome back to the Galactic Guardians. I'm one of your hosts, Tsunami Diamond, together with.
Hey family, blessings. Megan over here on the other side.
We're so excited to be back with you today as we dive into living life in ceremony and what that means, how you can go about doing that, and some of our experiences of what we've been doing lately in dropping in deeper each day into different sacred practices and sacred sacraments as we further in tune with spirit and to our daily ceremonies.
Okay. Yeah. All right. So let's just get down with it. So we're totally testing every single day out, and we are experimenting on vast levels. And we are very much so also experimenting with plants that were gracefully planted on earth for humanity to indulge in sacred manner and to experiment with, so that humanity could truly figure out what their creation is, what game we're playing here on earth, and how to really understand the matrix and the levels and the duration of this creation. And so we've decided to dive in very deeply, all in, face first, just diving in. And we understand when you do such thing gracefully, then you retrieve great rewards. And you also retrieve great balance and great knowing of what you are doing here as a human. The in-depth knowing of what this creation is. And straight up just cookie cut all the bullshit. And you can see through all the games that are being played on the planet that also destroy the planet and that are very much so destroying humanity. And call us warriors, yo.
Yes, and you could call them plant medicines, but also the molecules that we've been diving deep with and that we work with both personally and with others in sacred ceremony with our Lead Royalty Foundation are two molecules that, yes, they are found in many plants, but also they are endogenous within the human body. These two molecules are 5-MeO-DMT and NN-DMT, known as the God molecule and the spirit molecule. They are two molecules or plant medicines that are existent in our own bodies and created internally. They can be released and created through practices like deep breath work, certain breath work exercises, Soma breath work, Wim Hof breath work, or several others. And also there's other ways to activate these internally through immersing yourself in darkness, doing dark retreats. And these chemicals, these molecules, are released in people's body typically during birth and at death. which is why when people have an NDE, a near-death experience, and what happens is they have a very metaphysical experience where many people report seeing heaven, seeing God, seeing bright source of light and oneness, and all sorts of different experiences, which also can be experienced essentially on demand through working with these sacraments.
Sure. Okay. All right. All good and juicy. So I'll be straight up real. When I go into ceremonial, I'm not. Let's see. All right. Okay, dokie. So, I mean, I'm just touching in on what you were just saying, and when I go into ceremony, this is what goes for me: is it instantly activates my heart center, my heart, and you can see through a different lens, and then my spirit, my soul is fully in control, and a new vibrational frequency comes forward. Angelic, royal, serving, nourishing, tingly, orgasmic frequency of energy starts bursting out of your body. And you start even breathing deeper and start connecting deeply with your senses. Whether that's seeing even clearer, more colorful, hearing even better, and you're being guided, very much so being guided. Your soul, your spirit is guiding you. And let's just remember, let's get this correct, family, people listening, what's up? Let's get this correct, that every single human is for sure a spirit and for sure a soul. So if that's the core of us in this human design, in this human flesh, then wouldn't it just be freaking common sense to then want to dive in deeply and understand the spirit or the soul and have communication deeply with the spirit and the soul of your being, of the magnificence of you? And so when I understood that, I said, totally. Okay, so let me go in a bit deeper. And with that energy of just wanting to understand more of, okay, all right, dude, I'm a spirit, I'm a soul. All right. And what freaking ignites the spirit and the soul? Well, we're talking right now about specific plant medicine. Because here's the thing, we want to deliver to everyone, to all of humanity, to even the animal family and so forth, and the galactic family. We want to deliver direct wisdom, knowledge, fast, potent keys that accelerate all things, all living, to the highest vibrational frequency that each person, being can be. Because very much so, we are here playing a game on Earth, and we have the choice to accelerate and ascend and elevate Earth as well as elevate humanity, or we have a choice to numb ourselves and to play in the toxic vibrational frequency that very much so entraps you as a human and as a being, as a soul, and as a spirit. Whether we want to believe that or not, it's a fact, and it happens, and it is happening. And we choose not to be entrapped anymore. So what is the game, and what are the freaking keys to get me to the next level of ascending myself, and ultimately just specifically freeing myself so that I can be the designer, be the creator that I wish to be, so that I can fully embrace my authenticity of who I've come here to be. Drop the bullshit, drop the lens, drop the levels and the layers of everything we've been shown in whatever fakeness that lays upon my skin, but really, what is the true blossoming essence of being a human being? Yeah. And the balance of that, and the serenity of that, the peace, the abundance, the nourishments. Oh my gosh, it's so good when you can get to that frequency and see deeply beyond, see through the stars, see through everything. And so here we are, wanting to deliver fast, potent keys to elevate rapidly. And we're filled with these keys, family. And a lot of us are. Y'all are. Everyone is magical. We all have potent wisdom and keys to share with each other. And so, diving into all of that, as Tsunami and I go into daily practices of ceremony with plant medicines, how do you even explain the feeling and the levels that you achieve? And the show that is really happening when you're diving into the medicine, the plants that really activate your cells, that transform your DNA, that rewire your patterns to the greatest vibrational patterns that you can be. You become the creator. You remember that you are the creator.
Yeah, I look at these medicines as training wheels to remember who we truly are as divine, multi-dimensional beings, interconnected to the wholeness of all creation. And that concept for most people in society is easy to say, oh yeah, we're all one. But to truly feel it with every fiber of your being, every cell of your body, to feel the connection between you and the earth and the trees and the animals and the stars and all of creation, to truly feel it is a whole different experience than knowing it, right? And I feel like working with these medicines, it helps remind us who we truly are as those multidimensional beings. And the more we can get into that perspective of wholeness, of creation, the more we step into the power of being a creator, right? And we live in a society right now where so many people are living in a very small box of reality without expanding their lens to see the wider scope of what reality really is. And I feel like things like the tools like these are a way to very quickly shift an individual's perspective to who they are and what the reality really is, and help an individual fast track a path towards enlightenment, and even beyond enlightenment, ascension. And what's very interesting about these molecules is They have a reverse effect of what pretty much all other substances have. All other substances, you build what's known as a tolerance to something, and you need more of it over time. Okay. What I've noticed from working with these medicines for quite some time is, over time, the more that I work with it, the less I need of it over time, which I feel it'll eventually get to this point where it's like when you start learning to ride a bike, right? Eventually you can take off the training wheels and you can ride your bike. I look at it, eventually tools like these, we won't even need the tool like that, which is a very powerful, helpful tool to remind us who we are, what the reality is. And eventually all of our cells, the memory of all our cells, our soul, our spirit, all of our body, our brain, will fully be in that remembrance at all times. And we don't need the training wheels anymore.
Yes, dude. Yes.
And yeah, I mean, the experiences and what's possible with these very powerful medicines is
plants. I'm just gonna shift that a little bit, because I feel we've been, okay, here you go, here's Earth. All right, cool. Let me figure this out. Okay, I'm a human. Here I am growing up. Gotcha. And then all these systems and different parentals and doctors try to categorize and say, you have this. Oh, you need this. You know what, Beck? For real.
You're talking about the pharmaceutical industry.
Using the word medicine. And so I believe it's very much so overused. And as we step forward together, all of us in union, in figuring out our deepest truths and gathering the greatest tools and sharing them with everyone and igniting and, yes, basically saying sayonara to the systems that entrap humanity and really don't serve us, that are really destroying the inside of us and, of course, the outside as well. So I just want to shift this word a bit, and I want us as a team, you and I, Sue, I want us to, if you're down for this, actually up for this as we rise, I would love for us to start using the word more so plant, because yes, it is all some sort of medicine. It's all some sort of gift. Though it is just so simple and so natural that what we're talking about, and just in general, is nature, plants, and remembering that we are a seed, that we even water ourselves, which could be feeding ourselves, nourishing ourselves. And what happens, we grow, we expand, we seek, and putting the nourishments of plants with us in an environment rather than medicine. Medicine is great, rock and roll, I understand it. Though we're here to change the games, change the dynamics. And back in the day, maybe we could say we realized these were plants first, and then they turned into medicines.
Well, they can be plants, but that's what I was saying earlier in this episode. These are endogenous to the body. These are building blocks of life. These molecules are just as important as serotonin and melatonin, which has been shown in studies over the last few years of how important these molecules, these two molecules, are for the human creation. So, yes, of course, they're found in plants, but they're also endogenous within mammals, within humans and other mammals. So more so than medicines, you could call them supplements, or you could call them building blocks of life. You could call them multiple different things. I'm
gonna stick with plants. So,
okay.
Everyone, what terminology would you like to use?
Yeah. Golden keys.
Let's take a breath. Taking a nice deep breath just always centers you back into the rooted focal point of being and then producing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, with the breath, you could produce these plants with your breath.
Right, totally radical, fam. Like, this is totally radical, and we're just gonna, a lot of this was hidden in people tried to destroy this wisdom and keep it in silence, though I'm just being shown that we are just all so protected from our guardians. If you believe you have guardians, if you believe you have masters beside you, your creator beside you, we are just so protected that there's a shooting star. Oh, my Lanta. Blessings. Real quick, Sue. That right there, fam, was just a direct gift back to all of us, because that was showing, like, heck yeah, you're protected. Look beyond that small level that we've been shown. It's vast, There's massive multiverse. Do you all know what a multiverse is? Anyways, so now, since we know we're very much so protected, and of course use your wisdom and specific discernment and your skills and the things that you've had to go through throughout life to design, to be, to lay your foundation, and with that comes great protection. And now we can really just speak out loud and produce authentically. So
yeah. And the reason why powerful tools like these have been suppressed in society, and certain laws that should not be in place have been tried to be put in place to block people from working with tools like this, is because the powers that used to be know that when individuals use tools like this, they no longer are plugged into the matrix and easily blinded by facades, and people then wake up to see the cracks in the systems and don't want to any longer play those games, right? Fortunately, there is paths and ways to be able to step out of those systems, those facade systems, and reclaim your sovereignty, so that way you can choose what you as an individual do to raise your vibration, to connect with source, to explore consciousness, which should be our own right as divine sovereign beings. Unfortunately, we're still in a tipping point part of our timeline, where we're in the middle of two existing timelines, the old crumbling systems of the facade systems and the matrix and all that, which tries to say, no, you can't do those things, you can't put that in your body here. No, but you can take this pharmaceutical drug that's horrible for you, that then is going to make you need another one and another one and another one, right?
Tricks. I call those tricks. Tricks that are not good for us. Stop feeding the people tricks.
But fortunately, there is ways to step out of that system. That's one of the big purposes of our Lead Royalty Foundation, is to provide a path so individuals can reclaim their sovereignty and be able to have the legal right to work with powerful tools like this for connection with the divine creation.
Yep, just providing smooth ways for ourselves, and so we could then provide smooth ways for the people. And of course, these cute little animals. We love you, animal friends. Huh, Dakota? What up, buddy?
And it's just these tools are so needed for society right now, in a time where there's so many people living in fear, so many people with trauma, so many individuals with PTSD because they had to go into wars and things like that, where they're getting given these pharmaceuticals that are just numbing individuals for depression, like anti-anxiety, depression pharmaceuticals, all these things that literally are just numbing individuals. That's all it's doing. It's further disconnecting them from spirit and numbing them, so they're not needing to cope with those feelings and just suppress them, right? Versus being able to release them, heal them, realign the body, reset the cells of the body, reactivate the chakras and the energy centers, reconnect the person further to spirit, to source.
And what really gets me is activating your heart, being in that feeling of bliss, of love and self-love, without reaching out, but reaching in deeply, just going in, creating the time and the space to go in and retrieving your true peace of being. So just really the energy and the understanding is very important, and the realigning is just so important right now, especially, or no joke, you're gonna get taken away, yo. It's real. Whatever you believe that is, drowned in your thoughts, in the uncomfortability of feelings, in not receiving what you wish for, just all of that. It's enough of all of that. And there's gifts being presented to us all right in front of us, and we could open them and we could step forward on a vast level, a very, very vast level, a level that just is, I mean, my mouth is watering. My jaw is dropping. And you are just like, whoa, totally. This is real. This is so magical. Wait, we're superhuman people? Wait, what? There's levels. There's there's galactic beings. There's more people than just humans. Yeah, hello. It's time to freaking wake up. Yeah, totally, yo. So I'm just not going to go too deep into that, because your girl Meg could go on. But right now, we're in a very important tipping point, and you either have the balance to stay alive, or you've lost the balance, and I don't know where you're gonna go. It depends on your path and the karma and your flow, yo. But I do know that you want to make it. You don't want to recycle and reincarnate from physically death of controlled systems and stress and trauma. You want to push forward strong. You want to push that energy in your body and that light in your body. And and if you're seeking to find that energy and that light, it is around. There's a ton of us that have wisdom to share, that have keys to share, that have plants to share with you. And the nature also has so much to share with you. And we really must come to union together now, vastly, because it's literally up to us to decide how fast we want to move this creation. It's literally up to us to decide if we want to stop the lower density of chaos and trauma and just rise, because we are being shown in this time right now that we actually can fully rise as a union together and be in that blissful, orgasmic, constant creational flow of balance and richness and beyond.
Mm-hmm.
So we're holding our hands out and we're simply being, and we are here to raise ourselves to the highest level of ascension. Myself, Meg, Tsunami, and the family, brothers and sisters, everyone, whomever. Let's raise.
There's a lot of us raising up, uniting, joining forces, making the big moves for humanity's future and this next chapter where we're going to become intergalactic. And in regards to just going back to these tools, living life in ceremony, you know, that's something that I also want to add. You know, when working with these things, or even just when living life, what does it mean to live life in ceremony, to look at the world and to interact with the world in a sacred way, right? Where it's honoring the earth, honoring each individual, and being in tune with spirit at all times, because we are more spiritual beings than we are physical beings. And the issue is a lot of people have lost their connection to spirit. So that's why, you know, it doesn't even need to be something hard. Even just going and spending time out in nature, taking your shoes off and truly dropping in and connecting with Gaia will help reconnect you to spirit. So
and when you say spirit, like, we could also say that could be soul and inner child as well, right?
Yes. Well, we have a soul, but there is also the great spirit. You know, the indigenous tribes call it the great spirit. Grandfather, grandmother. There's, you know, in Christianity, the Holy Spirit. There's different names, right?
Yeah. And recently I just had read something that our inner child is directly linked to our spirit. And that really tickled my fanny. Because
tickled my fanny.
Because, I mean, ask yourself, friends, do you love your inner child? I mean, isn't your inner child fun when your inner child comes out to play, and the excitement and just the pure hearted frequency that your inner child does create? That's a nice feeling. That's some good purity.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Galactic brother.
Okay, honey. Well, when we come into this world, when we are a child, we have the greatest connection right off the bat to spirit, to our higher self, to our true nature, before we get that connection clouded from the society we live in. So that's why reconnecting back to your inner child is also, in essence, reconnecting back to spirit further.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And that's a great start. Activating the inner child more, which is something really shown for us to do in this moment of being human, is wake up and say, what does my inner child want to do today? How can I have fun with my inner child today? And see what comes forward.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's close out. What you feel about that?
That feels like a good point to close out. And yeah, you want to share? Is there any golden key you would like to share with our audience?
Well, I'm gonna repeat a little bit of what I just said, but I just want to challenge everyone to double dog dare you. That means you got to do it, right? Really challenge. The challenge is out to ask yourself each morning, inner child, what do you want to do today? And taking the action to follow up to whatever comes forward after that question. Whether you have to write it down, whether you have to schedule it in your day, but just doing it. And staying consistent on doing this. Because I tell you, you're not going to get to the greatest level of being you without the consistency of what, Sue?
The consistency of ceremony.
Rock and roll.
Live life in ceremony.
Yeah, and I do want to touch on that real quick. What is ceremony to me? Ceremony to me is waking up in the morning, serving myself with a nice shower. I like to put it on hot. I like to put it on cold. I like to make some funny noises in the shower. All of this is ceremony. It doesn't have to be just me trying to figure out how to silence my mind and figure out how to meditate. That could get a little dull. So more things in ceremony could be walking in nature, learning how to activate my chakras so that I can be more of my authentic self. Ceremony could be driving a really cool car that goes really quick. And I'm just like, yeah, this could be ceremony because I'm activating myself. Ceremony is creating. Ceremony is doing art. Ceremony is doing breath work, body activation, physicality, working out, even going to the gym is ceremony. So living your life in ceremony. And even if you do have a job and you're working, that is also creation, is it not? Aren't you creating and designing? If you really look deeper into work.
Yeah. or serving others. Service is ceremony.
And the wisdom I know is we did come here to serve the planet, to serve ourselves totally, though to also serve others of all things, all creation. And to serve means to also receive. So as you share an exchange of service, in the universal field of creation, it creates an energy, a gifted energy to then come forward to serve you something. And I'll tell you, I'm here to retrieve as many gifts as I could possibly retrieve, because I know if I retrieve more gifts, more of my wishings and my wants, then I will ultimately fulfill my purpose, my mission, my visions and dreams, to serve more and to create epic things. So we love you, fam. Rock and roll, superheroes.
Woo, woo, woo. If you want to learn more about Lead Royalty Foundation, you can find us at leadroyalty.org. Until next time. Galactic Guardians, out.
Say what?